What is up, heroes? It's Midnight Zero and welcome back to Let's Play Corpse Party Book of Shadows. In the last episode, we finished up Chapter 6, and in this episode, we are going to be going through a lot of the alternate endings we didn't cover in the first 6 chapters. You can see the ending list now. I believe we have, 18 different endings that we have yet to obtain, including the final 2. So this might be split up into 2 episodes. Honestly, recording these is always kind of difficult because you have to go back and load the saves and figure out all the events to do and figure out where you are with that particular save, which is really why it's a lot more convenient, and I really should have done this as we were playing through chapters, but I was just really busy back then, so this is what it's become. But nevertheless, note that there might be some jumps in editing, there might be some cuts. I don't exactly know how long the footage I have will be, so please bear with me, and I will see you guys. I'll show some of the important events leading up to each of these wrong ends, but I won't show the whole duration of playing up to that wrong end because, you know, you guys have already seen a lot of this. But then I guess that's all I really have to say for now. Let's hop into the first wrong end. Alright, so here we are with our first wrong end. This is Chapter 2, Demise. We are playing as Yoshiki right now. It's Yoshiki and Ayumi. If you remember, earlier in this chapter we play as Mayu, and we are about to walk into classroom 4A. We just picked the lock with the wire, and oh man, that music! Exactly what I was looking for. We're gonna see, you know, the heck, this isn't shaped like any classroom I've ever seen. Ayumi seems to be a little bit scared. Wait, what did you just say? Oh, just that this room is screwy. I mean, look at it. Kishinuma-kun, have you ever said that before? No. Of course you haven't, but I know I've been here before. This is where we saw that little boy spirit. And there he is. So naturally, as you might expect, we had determined, and we're pretty clear that this boy is not good news for us, especially because I think we got the first wrong ending out of curiosity. But naturally, the wrong end is going to be looking at him. I'm going to check it out. You stay here, and if things start to get out of hand, just forget about me and make a break for it. You guys have heard a lot of this. I mean, this isn't really the bad part at this point. So, naturally, we are going to inspect the boy, Ryo, who's going to disappear and then appear right in front of us. Ah, scary. Got you. Sorry about the jump scare if that got to any of you. But his icy child-sized hands caught hold of my wrist and wouldn't let go. Try as I might, I couldn't shake him. Darn it. Dun dun dun. Whoa. Where am I? I recognize this room really well. When I came to, I found myself restrained. I couldn't move a muscle. I was lying face up on some kind of table with both my arms and both my legs firmly bound by rope? I guess. It was digging into my skin, whatever it was. Darn it, I must have passed out or something. And after Shinozaki specifically warned me not to look into his eyes too. It's like, take a hint, Yoshiki. My head was the only part of my body that didn't have its movements prohibitively restricted, so I was able to look around the room to some extent. The walls and ceiling seemed to be made of dirt or mud. I didn't get the impression that I was in the school anymore. It looked and felt kind of like I was in some basement room, or more specifically, a mine or a bomb shelter, or something. Thick, gloppy bloodstains saturated every corner of the room, and the stench in the air was enough to send a shiver down even the most hardened spine. It seemed fairly apparent what this room was used for. At least, it was as apparent as it needed to be. But the scariest part was, I remembered this place. Or I had a nagging sense that I'd been here before. Anyway, much like Shinozaki had said about that weird classroom just moments before. I don't get any of this. What the heck is going on around here? I've got to figure out how to escape. There she is. There she is. Escape? But you already know that's impossible. There's our Sachiko. Whoa. Whoa, did they show like the Book of Shadows or something like that? What's going on? Oh, there's our good buddy. The voice belonged to a little girl who looked like she was right around 10 years old at most. She was wearing a red dress and staring at me through a mop of messy black hair with a smirk on her face and a condescending glint in her eyes. Sachiko? Wait, Sachiko... I muttered a name without thinking, surprising myself. How did I know who this was? Or more to the point, who was Sachiko? You remember me! Oh no, I wasn't able to kill you last time, but I'm ready to see this through to the end now. Yikes. And I'm gonna take my time with it too. I'm going to make sure everything goes exactly the way I want it to. Take out your paper scrap. Yo, I like it, Yoshiki. Why don't you shut up, you psychotic little brat? Yikes. In the very next moment, everything around me seemed to go white. So it seems taking these paper scraps is preventing them from either, I don't know, having their souls like finally end here or something? Psychotic little brat, huh? Tell her, Yoshiki. I mean, I can't really voice it, but you told her. Sachiko was now staring at me with a cold, unmoved, and unwavering expression. I was in more pain than I'd ever felt in my entire life. I focused my gaze on the filthy giant at her side, who seemed to be doing her bidding. His enormous hammer was still resting on the mesh that was previously my right ankle up until about a few seconds ago. I was all too aware that the extreme impact had pierced my flesh, shattered my bones, and even sprayed the room with shards of marrow. Yikes. That would be rather painful to say the least. This was beyond pain. Everything in my body was on alert. Skin. I wanted to puke. I'm gonna crush every last part of you one after the other, from the tip of your toes on up. Go on then, keep going. Yikes. That sounds torturous, to say the least. Yikes. I'll end with your face. Kind of a shame since you're such a cool looking guy, but I really want to see what you look like with your eyes popped out. Oh. Yikes. Stop this, you. Darn. I actually really like Yoshiki now. I think Yoshiki grew on me quite a bit. Such a rebellious stare. Let's see, what part of you gets smashed up next? Screw you! You don't scare me! I like it, Yoshiki. I like it, Yoshiki. Don't let her win. I tried my best to stay strong and not give her the satisfaction of seeing me in pain or afraid. But in truth, I was scared out of my mind. All I wanted to do was shrink back in fear and agony. It took every fiber of my being to resist. Is that so? Well, then how about this? Uh-oh. Hey, Blockhead, show our guest here what else we have in store for him. Huh? What might she have in store? The red-eyed giant laid down his hammer, but rather than feeling relief, I was instead even more worried by Sachiko's sadistically overjoyed expression. Admittedly, Yoshiki's probably gonna pass out soon. Whatever could this be? What is it? I was flabbergasted. I couldn't even speak. Yikes. Yikes. It's Ayumi. That's awful. That's awful. Ayumi. Yikes, this wrong end is intense. Stop this, get your hands off of her, you bakas. You bakas is what I'll leave it at. There you go, that's what I like to see. Isn't it horrible? Don't you just hate us? Wouldn't you just love to kill us? But Sachiko is merciful, so she's not gonna kill you just yet. Should you ever change your tune from "I'm going to kill you" to "kill me please," though, just let me know and I'll be happy to oblige. As she said this, she drew her face in close and I could feel her tiny cold lips sucking the tears from my cheek. Yikes. And should your hatred die away before that happens, you might just become another part of me, huh? How does that work? Wow. So that was actually a really intense wrong end for something that was just kind of like a on the side, pretty easily avoidable, in my opinion, wrong end. That was really intense. Really well done. Huh. Good stuff. So that was wrong end number 2 from chapter 2. That was a long one too. I'll get back to it and I'll see you guys for wrong end number 3. Alright, so here we are, awkwardly enough with what's on screen. We are back in chapter 2 and we are attempting to get wrong end number 3. If you'll recall from this moment we meet this girl, I forget what her name is. She's, she's in a little bit of a bind to say the least, and we're given the option, I'm gonna speed ahead, to do a couple different things to potentially save her. We can remove the bandage or we can try to reach the bucket. And the first time around, I decided to remove the bandages because that bucket seems like it's a little bit, on the edge to say the least, and would probably not turn out too well. It turns out that that actually is a wrong end, as we decided we determined back in chapter 2. Let's see what happens if we do try to reach the bucket. I would also like to note, because some of you guys might be wondering, I am using a guide to determine where all these wrong ends are and how to get them, but in doing so, I'm not spoiling what actually happens during the wrong end. So these are genuine reactions. We can worry about the bandages later, but if that bucket falls, it's all over. We've got to do something about it pronto. You're right. Okay, I'll hold down the statue on the shelf then. Uh-oh. Alright, now I'll try to get that bucket down. Make sure you hold on tight. Be careful. Oh, it's not going to turn out well. Uh-oh. Darn it, I can just barely touch the bottom of it. I can't get anywhere near the handle. Yeah, don't try anything funny with it or it might spill. I know. God forbid there's sulfuric acid in there or something. With the slightest spill would mean game over. Yeah, definitely. Let's grab a little bit of water. We could try stacking a few desks or chairs. Oh, you're gonna fall over. You're so gonna fall over and knock the bucket over in the process. Yeah, I think that may be our only option here. The heck? Every single one is stuck fast to the floor. They won't budge. Oh, that's right. That does happen with some of the furniture here. This brought to mind all the doors and windows that were so firmly frozen in place they might as well have been cement walls. I didn't need convincing. I knew what Kishinuma said was true. Those desks and chairs weren't going anywhere. I had no other choice but to step in. Step on Mayu? Oh, I was gonna say, oh, yeah, that works too. Kishinuma, how about I piggyback on your shoulders on top of one of those desks? This is not the time, Yoshiki. But you're wearing a skirt. Exactly, Mayu. Now's not the time to worry about that. We need to get this done before the statue falls, right? Got it. Yeah. What the heck is wrong with his desk? Is the floor buckled or something? Don't worry, Suzumoto. I've got you. Just focus on what you're doing. Okay. I swallow nervously, then reach my hands over my head, careful not to make any sudden movements. I could reach the bucket's handle just fine, unfortunately. Now all that remained was untying it and getting it down without spilling whatever happened to lie within. But... we know this isn't going to fare well. The desk finally move or what? God, what the heck is in here? It's really heavy. Whatever it was, it definitely wasn't liquid. This was a solid, tangible weight. Felt almost as if the whole thing was filled to the brim with lead. I tried my hardest to maintain balance while adjusting to this unexpected new mass in my hands, but... uh-oh. I can't! Uh-oh. It was no use. The bucket was slipping loose from my grip, and there was nothing I could do to stop it. Inevitably, my hands gave out and the bucket was airborne. Someone had coated it in soapy water or oil, making it virtually impossible to hold on to. Whoever set this trap had apparently anticipated this very scenario and planned for it accordingly. We were meant to find this girl. We were meant to try rescuing her, and we were meant to fail miserably. This was all one big joke to someone. The bucket flipped over in midair, raining its contents down onto the unknowing, unsuspecting victim below. Directly onto her face. Oh. Yikes. Oh. Her cries only lasted for 1 or 2 seconds. They were followed by a few convulsions in her legs, and then stillness. Thousands of assorted nails, razors, scissors, and tacks all struck the poor girl's face, piercing her soft cheeks and eyes and filling her mouth. It took almost no time at all for what was left of her pale, perfect skin to be dyed crimson. Yikes. That does not sound pleasant, to say the least. I did this. I killed her. You mental? This isn't our fault. God, no. It wasn't meant to be this way. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. Forgive me. Oh, poor Mayu. Poor Mayu. So there's that wrong end. That one was not as elaborate or as long, but it's at least pretty interesting to know what was inside that bucket actually and what would have happened and how all that went down. But there's wrong end number 3. In the next one, I think what do we have to do? I think there's like a hole we have to explore in the ground. Anyways, I'll see you guys for wrong end number 4 in just a moment. Alright, so here we are. There's a hole in the floor that we're trying to figure out what to do with. And I think if we choose to step up... Oh, I don't even remember exactly what happens. We send Mayu down there. And is that where we pick up a notebook or something? I don't remember super well. But the wrong end is going to happen if we send Yoshiki after all, who says he doesn't really mind, but he's probably a bit too big for it. Maybe he might get spooked and act a bit spontaneously. Alright, that should be tight enough to ensure it stays tied. Thanks, I'm gonna take that first step now. I leave the rope, or the bandages, I guess, in your capable hands. I don't think Mayu's gonna be able to hold Yoshiki up. Roger that. Be careful, okay? That's her name, Nana. Honestly, this chapter was really strong. I actually really liked both Nana and Mayu's development in this chapter, and I think Yoshiki, while he had a decent amount of development in the first game, he still like grows a bit, and we get to see his interactions a bit differently in this chapter. Not super dominant or dominated by interactions with Ayumi in particular, and yeah, I think it was well done. But if anything happens, give the rope a tug to let us know, and we'll pull you up. Yeah, I don't think you two are quite capable of that. If anything happens, I plan to climb up like a madman, so just make sure you hang on tight. Admittedly, that'll actually, I think, require the same amount of force from Nana and Mayu, given you're either pulling down to essentially bring your body weight up, and they would need to resist that force, or you could do nothing and they would need to apply that force in pulling your body weight up. So I don't think it's going to make too much of a difference. If someone's a little bit more comfortable with physics, I think generally I'm pretty comfortable with physics. Let me know if you think differently on that, but Yoshiki's heading on down. Okay, Suzumoto, I'm on solid ground. Oh, this is the body pool. This is the body pool. Everything all right? Do you see anything? It's too dark to tell just yet, but I'm gonna feel around a bit. Oh no, it's that sound effect. Not that this is a pleasant prospect. Though it's too dark to see the area clearly, this entire space has an oppressive feel to it. Yeah, we're pretty familiar with what it is. Are we... Let's check our darkening. We're at a clean 0%, so that's good. We'll just take a look at and start looking at the bodies, I guess. Large number of dead bodies scattered throughout the room. Most seem to have died long ago, having decayed into proper skeletons, but a small handful seem fresh, as if they were alive only yesterday. Man, how many decades have these bodies been here? Alright, we'll take a look at maybe these. This girl's body, this is one of the ones that seems like a more recent death. So recent in fact that there's still a hint of body heat coming off of her, yikes. All of her fingers have been cut off and her tongue seems to have been removed as well. Her student ID name tag is clearly named under her jacket. I'm pretty sure we got these. Oh. Yikes. That's right. We find some of her friends down here. Same school uniform as Ogasawara. Come to think of it, didn't she call out to someone named Hikari when we saved her? Oh, maybe Yoshiki isn't able to handle that information as well. Darn it, how the heck do you tell someone their friend is dead? There's something lying on the ground next to her body. Seems to be the glinting object that called attention to this room in the first place. The bottle. What the heck is this? Perfume, maybe? I got it. It's a bottle with some kind of watery liquid in it. Can you make it back up? Yeah, no problem. It's nowhere near as deep as it looked from above. The question is, what's going to go wrong? Rope gonna snap? Hold it steady, you two. Uh-oh. I can't climb with it shaking like this. Did he fall? Yikes. After a split second of what seemed almost like weightlessness, came a hard slam on the ground. And following momentarily afterward was the other end of the rope. Did the girls let go? Fortunately, it happened while still fairly low to the ground, resulting in bruises, albeit painful ones, rather than broken bones. But without that rope, you're not getting back up. The only thing I can think of in this sort of a situation is if you were to, it's like near impossible to throw the rope back up, but if you had a dense object you could throw and tie the rope around back up, that might be your only option. If you were to take like maybe like a skull or something like that, tie an end of the rope around and try and chuck the skull up. I think that would be a lot more feasible. But Suzumoto, what's the big... Oh no! Did they get attacked up there? Oh! The big guy. Whoa! Ogasawara! No response. Ogasawara's body was simply going into repeated convulsions, and half her face had been smashed in like a watermelon. Her skull was clearly split wide open. What the heck? Ogasawara, what the heck is going on here? Hey, Suzumoto! Oh no. And he has to listen to this while being absolutely helpless. Help! Save me, Kishinuma! Suzumoto! And that's the end of all three of them. Don't ask what's happening. Tell her to run or something like that. Hey, Suzumoto, what the heck happened? What's going on up there? Should be pretty clear. Should be pretty clear. I feel like he's just gonna like jump down the hole and be like, "Sup, Yoshiki, you're next." Make it stop. Oh, my. Suzumoto, whoever you are, get your hands off of her. Next, do you think you're doing? Oh, Shigeni. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Don't be a baka, you can't give up now. I'm gonna reunite you with Morishige, I swear. Oh, that does not sound good. Oh, what the heck? Is this blood? Is that, let alone Mayu's blood? Blood spilled from above, as if someone were dumping a whole bucket full of it down the hole. And mixed in with this blood were various meat-like chunks of varying shapes and sizes. Chunks that were clearly pieces of a person's body. Yikes, that was another gruesome ending. I think that was another well done wrong end, in my opinion. So that was cool. That was cool. I mean, like, cool is, you know, one way to describe it, but I think it was well done from like a horror standpoint and taking an unexpected twist. So yeah, good stuff. I think there's still one more ending we need to get. Let me check real quick. I still think there's one more ending we need to get for chapter 2 in particular. And given how long this has been going, this will probably be the last one we do for this part. We'll just... No, there's still 2 more endings. All right, we'll try and get these 2 endings, and then we'll save another video for the other 2 chapters. Because wow, these are taking a while. So regardless, I'll see you guys in the next wrong end in just a moment. All right, so this is relevant. We are relatively early on in chapter 2. This is before we've even run into Nana and everything. We just escaped the first encounter with the boy, I guess. We tried to leave and everything. I think that's the first wrong end I got. But regardless, you'll notice in this classroom there's a little shiny thing. This is a notebook. This is essential to getting the true end. So we are intentionally not going to grab it for the purpose of the next 2 wrong endings. So now we're going to play through the rest of the first part of the chapter up until Nana pretty normally. So we're going to start by taking the rusty key from this podium. And we'll do all the normal things you would typically do up until Nana. So you can just assume that. Alright, so this probably looks familiar. We are going to... I want to note that this is the branching point. This is where if you don't have the notebook, things start to get a bit different. So I'm going to play this normally. I'm also going to save... just because I don't want to go through the beginning of this chapter again for the next wrong ending we're going to do. But, yeah, we do not have the notebook. Everything else was the same. There's a lot of dialogue and everything, but we are going to remove the bandages. And at what point? I think this part might be different for the most part. Or this part will be mostly the same. But what we do after this is where things are actually going to change. And you'll see there's a lot of dialogue, and Thank goodness for this skip function, or this speed up function. It makes things a lot easier. And at this point I'm also going to follow a guide for the remainder of getting these wrong endings. But then again, you know, I still haven't really seen them. But let's see here. So what are we supposed to do next? I got my handy dandy guide here. We are going to this stairwell. Hope you guys don't mind this too. I mean, it's just like... finding all these wrong ends, finding all the different flags for and everything would just take forever, so I can't really afford to do that, but... now we're supposed to go to classroom 2A, it seems? Or attempt to pass by it. So we'll head over that way. Speed things up a little bit too. We're going to discover that there's a hole in the ground. And... that's, you know, nothing special. Now we'll head up here to the north. I think we run into ghosty ghosts there? No, that might have been earlier in the chapter. Some not so happy ghosts, but now what do we do? I think we head up here to the reference room. Yeah, head up to the reference room and we try and get in here with the rusty key, it seems. Can we do that, please? It won't open, it's locked. We've got a rusty key, let's give it a go. That key I found earlier might open it. Yeah, we're gonna use the rusty key. There are only a couple more events left in this wrong ending. I don't want you to think this is gonna go on forever, but no good, guess it's the wrong lock. Oh, really? And maybe it's just got too much rust on it to fit in the lock. Here, let me see. Okay, but what are you planning to do with it? I'm gonna scrape it on the floor here and try to pry some of it off. I mean, I guess that could work. Yoshiki seems like he knows. He's like a very handy man. Hey, looking nice and shiny clean. Yeah, makes sense. There we go, good as new. When you leave keys buried in the ground or stored in damp places, they get rusty, and the rust changes their shape. See? A fair point, but it still seems like too small a key for this keyhole. And we'll see if we can make it work. Look, there's something written on it. You can just barely make it out, but it's there. What does it say? Hey, you're right. There are letters carved right into it. Kishino, breaking the rust off the key, uncovered a label on its grip. Science lab, staff only. Guess that settles that. Seems like a handy key to have. Alright, so the next thing we're going to want to do is head back down to the locker room. We're going to pick up those handy-dandy bandages that our friend Nana was tied up in, unfortunately, and see if we can use those. Gotta head all the way back down. I will say, at least the guide makes this a lot faster of a process. And this chapter has really cool music. Did I... Seriously? Seriously, I say that as it finally dies out. I've been going through this chapter so on and off, and it's got that really cool kind of eerie but like upbeat vibe to it. I really enjoy the music from this chapter, but of course we can't listen to it for much longer. Alright, so we'll pick these up. Nothing new about this particular event. Nana's feeling rather ashamed, embarrassed, or whatnot about the bandages, understandably so. And now, what are we supposed to do? We are supposed to go by that hole we found in the floor by 2A earlier. And that is where, apparently, something's going to go down. Apparently, at least. So, I guess we'll see? Potentially? First things first, we've got to get one end of this rope fastened onto something. How about the desk inside that classroom? I don't know about that. You pull on the rope and that desk is totally going to move. That's true. Maybe the teacher's podium? No, the rope wouldn't be long enough to stretch that far. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Can we attach it to a desk and move that desk right up against the classroom door? Then just close the door most of the way, leaving only a crack for the rope to slip through. That way the door will keep the desk in place. I see. As long as we double loop the rope around the desk, then it should hold. And with the door serving as a barrier, yeah, this just might work. We'll give it a go. We'll see what happens. I mean, we already know that it's not going to turn out well, but exactly how is it not going to turn out well is the question. Alright, guess I'll grab the rope then and jump across with it. Be careful, okay? Don't worry, at this distance, it's child's play. Huh? Uh-oh. That doesn't sound good. Holy crap, that scared me. Are you alright, Kishinuma-kun? Yep, the floorboards on this side are just a little dicey, that's all. We'll all need to be real careful around them. Okay. Suzumoto, hang on to the rope and come on over. One at a time, though, since it's kind of dangerous. Nana, I'd like to go first. Will you be okay going after me? Sure, I think I can do it. Hmm? What's wrong? I dropped my student ID with the scrap of paper from the Sachiko charm still in it. We can go downstairs later and get that. For now, just focus on getting across safely, okay? Yeah, that is admittedly the more important part. I'm over, Nana. You're next. Make sure you hang onto the rope tightly and be real careful, okay? Got it. Uh-oh. 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 That does not look good. That does not look good. Who the heck is that? I don't think he's friendly. Yeah, you don't say. Nana, come on, hurry. Uh-oh. Yeah, you gotta get going, Nana. You don't want to get caught by this guy. Yikes. Is she just... For about as much time as it took a single shiver to run up and down a person's spine, the hallway was completely silent. Then, the moment Nana's foot left the floor on the other end of the hole, there was an abrupt, almost exaggerated spray of blood. The back of the strange, bloody-eyed man's massive hammer had come down hard, roughly splitting through not only the rope, but both of Nana's legs as well. Oh, Nana. Poor Nana. Nana always getting the short end of the stick. One thing I'm noticing is that they are at least being consistent with the deaths. Like these markings that indicate, you know, a particular type of death happening. They are actually being really consistent, even the wrong ends. Nana. More than anything, I wanted to look away. I wanted to look away from those desperate, tear-filled eyes, that shocked, pained expression. Not to mention that the sight of Nana's dangling torso, with nothing at all left below the thighs. Don't let go of the rope. We'll pull you up. Suzumoto, I need your help. Her legs. Nana's legs. Baka, she's still alive and we can help her that way. And we can keep her that way. But even if we save her, even if we pull her up, don't think about that right now. Darn it, if she needs legs, we'll lend her ours. I'll carry her on my back. Yeah, there we go, Yoshiki. Yoshiki literally putting the team on his back. My legs, God, it hurts, Poor Nana. Nana's such a great character, too. Nana, we need to do something to stop the bleeding. You need to get her across the rope, is the first thing. Move, I'll tie the rope tight around her thighs. Darn it, this is so messed up. Oh, is he coming from the other side? Oh, he's coming from the other side. Oh no. Oh no. We need to get away from here, Suzumoto. Okay. Because I know that this is a differentiating point coming up soon, I am going to save here. Because the setup all the way up until this has been, or is the same for the following, or the last two wrong ends we need. You Baka, if you think you can jump this gap with that Baka body of yours, then why don't you just try it? Yikes. Are we still running away? She's still breathing, but she's passed out, as to be expected given the blood loss. That's probably for the best. If she were conscious, think how much pain she'd be in. Yeah, but if she's passed out, that can't be a good sign for her chances of survival. We've got to do something to save her. What can we possibly do? We're not doctors. With a wound this bad, I wouldn't even know where to begin. Understandable. We can at least dress the wound with antiseptic and bandages. There's got to be some in the infirmary or the science lab or the staff room or somewhere. The infirmary. No, we're not going to the infirmary. Either way, we have to at least try. Yeah, I guess you're right. For now, we should focus on finding someplace safe where she can rest. Understandable. Huh? Bathroom? That's, not exactly what I was hoping to see. Oh. Oh. It's the same guy. How the heck did he get over here? That's right, there are those passages through the bathroom, I think. I don't know, but we have to run. Okay, so we've got a minute and a half. Now, this is the big differentiator. So I'm actually going to save here, just for the sake of saving time. There are two different wrong ends. The first of which is going to be from running out of time. So that's what we'll do first. I'm probably just going to wait here. And we can chat for a nice minute. Yeah, so these are the last two wrong ends of Chapter 2. But man, there are a lot of wrong ends. But one thing, yeah, like I mentioned earlier, is that they're being really consistent with the deaths and the anticipated marks and everything. And honestly, that makes it feel like they might even be, you know, like true ends at that point. And I think given that this wrong end per se is running so long in this direction, this would really have me going like we were progressing through the game in the intended manner, which is you know, definitely adds to the creepy effect. And then you go back and you're like, what did I do wrong? Where did I miss? And then I'd probably be frustrated if I didn't find the notebook on the first pass around. But just being a completionist and searching everything, we luckily avoided that. But man, if they show the giant man slowly kind of creeping into the screen or something like that, that would be pretty spooky. What's going to happen if he catches us? I mean, obviously it's not going to turn out well, but how exactly is it not going to turn well is really the corpse party question, right? You know, it's pretty obvious sometimes when you're walking into a wrong end, but the question is, how bad does it get? And that's kind of horror, but here we go. Struck from behind, question mark? Nana wakes up. The bloody-eyed man raised his right leg, then quickly brought it down onto Nana's stomach, pinning her to the ground and forcing blood from her wounds. Oh. Poor Nana. Poor Nana. A few stomps later, what looked to be gastric juices began spewing from Nana's mouth, and her momentary consciousness was cut short as she passed out again. Lucky for her. This didn't stop the man from continuing his stomping fit, however. He was putting his whole body weight into every blow. I could hear the sound of bones breaking. Nana's chances of survival were 0. Let's be real, 0. Lessening with every passing moment, and they weren't good to begin with. Nana-chan. Stop it. Stop it. What could I do? I wanted to save her somehow, but I couldn't even move. Darn it, get your foot off of her, you baka! I don't think he took a liking to those words, Yoshiki. Yikes. Probably wasn't the best decision to make. Kishinuma's attempt to save Nana was short-lived. The bloody-eyed man swatted him back like a fly, and he immediately fell through a hole in the floor. And that's the end of Yoshiki. Poor Mayu as well. Oh. Sachiko coming up from behind, the creepy whispering in the ear. Sorry to keep you waiting. It's your turn now. Hey, wanna play? Uh-oh. That's not spelling too well for Mayu. It's not Sachiko, surprisingly. I remember now. This. This is where I die. Yikes. Interesting wrong end. Interesting. I don't know if that's an allusion to her death from the very first game, and that she then, you know, is invited to play with the other ghosts, and she goes to play them, but she's crying, I think, or something like that. And she's alone because obviously Nana and Yoshiki die, but maybe that has something to do with it. I'm not 100% sure how this maybe fits into the first game, or if it's a reference to anything. I'm obviously the true ends are probably the ones that are supposed to be the ones that fit with the first game. But regardless, that's wrong end number 5. We are going to save, and then we're going to hop back into the very last wrong end that we need to get for chapter number 2. I'm not going to bother cutting around the footage and everything because we are just going to hop right back into that save file. And instead of letting the giant man, I think his name is it Yoshikazu? Yoshikazu? I keep forgetting some of the names, but rather than let him catch us, like they mentioned, there are a few different places they suggest we look. And where we are going to be going is the science room in particular. That is where you don't want to go. The science lab door is locked. I mean, we have a key, don't we? Door is locked. The science lab. I've got the key right here. We're going to use the lab key. I know it's not going to turn out well, but like, if this were actually the game, I think it would be pretty reasonable to think to do this. It turned. Good, come on, let's get inside. Timer's still going. And it goes away. We have sealed our fate. Okay, I've locked it behind us.
とりあえずは安全か。
I think we're safe. For now.
でもあのデカブツ、斧みてえの持ってやがったからな。ドアが破られる前に、こっちもなんか武器でも探さねえと。
Good point, good point. But that darn pig's got a hammer like an axe. So before he busts through this door, we need to find something we can use to defend ourselves.
その前にナナちゃんの手当てを。何この匂い。
But what about tending to Nana's... Wait, what's that smell? It's like a chemical in the room? Bodies or what? Oh, we have the ability to explore. Is it the dead body? Huh? It's a dead body bound to a chair with wire by both its wrists and ankles. Yikes, based on height and uniform, this is most likely a junior high school girl. She seems to have had hot oil poured over her head, burning everything above her chest into a blackened, unidentifiable mess. Oh, being burned alive while being bound into a chair. The only discernible facial feature is a missing tongue, and that only because its stump is still faintly visible through her broken front teeth. The wire around her wrists and ankles seems to have really dug into the skin too, suggesting she put up a heck of a fight before taking her final breath.
この制服、ナナちゃんと同じ。
Oh, it's one of Nana's friends. This uniform, it's the same as Nana's.
聖書に写真があるな。武蔵川女子中学校1年6組。天戸屋なり。
Yikes. Look, there's a photo on her student ID. Musashigawa Girls Middle School, Class 1-6 Nari Yamatoya.
ナリちゃん。
Oh,
意
that's
識戻ってた
awful.
のか。
Oh, you're awake.
ナナちゃん、見ちゃダメ。
Nana, don't look.
これ、ナリちゃん。
Oh, that's awful. What is this? Nari-chan? No, no.
嘘だよ。こんなの。ナリちゃん、絶対みんなで脱出するって約束したのに。
No, it can't be. Not like this. Nari promised that we'd all escape from here together.
こんなのって違う。絶対ナリちゃんなんかじゃ。
Yo, you gotta keep it down, Nana. This can't be her. It has to be some kind of mistake. It has to be.
しっかりしてナナちゃん。まだ他にも会いたい人が、友達や先輩がいるんでしょ。
Calm down, Nana. There are other people you need to find. Friends and peers, right?
もういないかもしれないよ。
Do we just lock ourselves in with Sachiko? We just locked ourselves in with Sachiko. No, they're probably gone too. Yikes.
なんだ。
Let's play a game. What's this? It was a little girl with matted, oily black hair spilling down her shoulders and over her chest, and she was holding something under her arm. It's probably... As she drew out the vowel in her sadistically playful question, she triumphantly flourished this object, revealing it to be a human head. It was a girl's head with a perfectly uniform bob framing her face. She looked like the quiet type. Her mouth was hanging half open, trails of blood stained onto her chin, and once again the tongue was nowhere to be found. Oh, she's gonna show her all of her friends. No.
これ千早ちゃんって言うんだ。ん？千早ちゃんは何度も呼んでたよ。ななちゃん。
Oh, so her name is Chihaya, is it? She was calling for you right up until the end. Over and over again, she bleated out, Nana. Oh.
ななちゃん、私死んじゃった。どうして助けに来てくれなかったの？
Sachiko, you are awful. Watch this. Nana, I'm dead now. Why didn't you come and save me? The girl in the red dress thrust her hand up into Chihaya's neck and was moving her mouth up and down while saying this, like a ventriloquist with a dummy. Ugh, so inhumane. Give her back. Give me back my friend. With those words, Nana lapsed back into unconsciousness on Kishinuma's back, never again to awaken. As for me and Kishinuma, we knew the chase was over. There was nothing left to say. We just stood there, petrified at the thought of what was yet to come. And so there's the final wrong end. That's a pretty gripping one emotionally. I think a lot of the feels from some of these wrong ends come from the relationships of the people involved in their own death, in the exacerbation of the despair and the agony from experiencing and imagining the pain of the people they care about. Corpse Party gets pretty intense. It gets pretty intense, but regardless, I have been recording for well over an hour now, trying to get all of these endings for just Chapter 2. So, taking a look at this ending list just to make sure we do indeed have everything down. Let's take a look real quick, just to be safe. Okay, so we have completed Chapter 2's endings, and I'd imagine we're going to need an episode for every single chapter if this was indicative of anything. So, in the next episode, we are going to finish the alternate endings for Chapter number 3, Encounter. Obviously, like I've said, Chapter 1, we don't really need it. Chapter 4, we don't need it because we got everything, but Chapter 5 is going to be a long one. Chapter 6 might be quick. And then we will continue on with the final chapter. I hope you guys enjoyed these wrong ends. I hope you guys enjoyed recounting some of the earlier chapters in the game and the events and the characters we got to learn about and experience their hardships with. So I'm definitely enjoying getting a look back at, in my opinion, some of my more favorite chapters too. I like Chapter 2 a lot. I really liked Chapter 3 a lot. I liked Chapter 6 quite a bit. Yeah, and you know, Chapter 1 we're not going to revisit exactly, so, but I like that one too. So, yeah, let me know what you guys thought about the wrong ends. I know this might be a really long video, it might not be anywhere near as long as I anticipated, but I hope you guys enjoyed it nonetheless. But until the next episode, this is Moon Knight Zero, and this mission is complete.